Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
It is such an honor to be together with you all again as a community as we continue the days of awe tonight, coming together for Erev Yom Kippur, or as we call it in our kishkas, Kol Nidre. Tonight we are beginning the holy work of atonement. We are beginning our fast. And we are beginning the process of stripping away all the layers of things that are perhaps very important every other day of the year, but utterly, utterly unimportant as we come before the Eternal One for atonement. It is my pleasure and my honor to be here to do that work with you, and I am joined this evening by Cantor Yvonne Shore, and by Maestro Robert Nance, and by David Rezitz. And together we will be praying with our mouths and with the sounds of our vocal cords and with the sounds of the strings to begin to move into Yom Kippur. A word about fasting. I'm going to say this again tonight, and I'll say it again tomorrow. It is our custom to fast on Yom Kippur, and if for you fasting is something that you should be doing, then tonight we begin the fast. But there are those of us who should not fast. You know who you are, and the rest of us will be fasting for you. But you are completely a part of the experience that we're sharing together of bearing ourselves for atonement. So we will begin our fast, and I'll say now, let us begin to be gentle with ourselves and with each other as we go through this ordeal of fasting. But now, it is Yontif, and we will light the candles for Yontif, which you will find the blessing on page 9. Samara Sheree is doing the candle lighting for us. Page 9. Has there been any audio at all? Okay, we're back. So we're together with Yom Kippur. I'm going to pause for a moment to make sure that we have a couple things that we need before we go any further. We're going to hear a little Yom Kippur music to make sure that we have everything we need so that you can hear us tonight. Thank you, Bob, for helping us out. And now we begin to move into the main. All right. So we're going to have the candle lighting so that you can hear and see the act of lighting the candles.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chad l'kneah shel yom ha'kippurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, v'hechiyanu v'tzivanu v'hiviyanu l'zman hazeh. Source of blessing, eternal our God, you fill the universe with majestic might, giving us life, upholding the life within us, and bringing us to this time.
So may we take in the light of the Yontif candles, of the memorial candles that many of us begin lighting tonight. May we draw that in, breathe it in deeply into our souls, and find ourselves centered and ready to pray. The center of what we are doing together this evening is Kol Nidre, which is Aramaic for all vows. This is a custom that has been associated with Yom Kippur for centuries, and as many things that are Jewish customs, there are different stories about how it is that it's come to be our minhag, our practice, our custom. One story that has been told is that the tradition of Kol Nidre evolved in medieval Spain during the period when so many Jews living on the Iberian Peninsula were forced to convert to Christianity or face death. So the legend goes, the custom goes, that Kol Nidre developed out of that life experience because these were people living with tremendous guilt for the vows that they had taken in order to survive in society. Kol Nidre was the process for them to let go of those vows so that they could engage in atonement. The other tradition is that it's very clear that Kol Nidre is a legal proceeding, and the words of Kol Nidre have strong parallels in the contracts found in Babylonia about the time when Jews were living there. And so you can pick your story, but the point that I'd like us to consider tonight is Kol Nidre is about letting go, stripping away the obligations that distract us from the work of coming together for atonement. I mentioned that this is a legal proceeding. Kol Nidre can be considered a session of court. And in just a moment, you will see we've invited leaders to act as judges for this court proceeding, figuratively, of course. And in a moment, Ellen Tom, Kathy Sider, Scott Goldberg, Jay Zemmel, Wendy Wallet, and Rachel Gordon, you will see them receive and hold this Sefer Torah, bringing Torah into our midst as we begin our Kol Nidre, as we begin releasing our vows. So I am now going to open the ark, and I invite you to rise, if you are able, and to remain standing until the Baruch Hu is complete. Please rise.
Ule
We will continue now with the first of 3 recitations of Kol Nidre. First, by David Rezitz and Robert Nance. Secondly, by myself. And third, by Cantor Shore. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. Let our spoken words, every vow and every oath, be honest and well-intentioned. Let our words cause no pain, bring no harm, and never lead to shame, distrust, or fear. And if, after honest effort, we are unable to fulfill a promise, a vow, or an oath, may we be released from its obligation and forgiven for our failure. Let our speech be pure and our promises sincere. All vows, resolves, and commitments, vows of abstinence and terms of obligation, sworn promises and oaths of dedication that we promise and swear to God and take upon ourselves from this day of atonement until the next day of atonement. May it bind us well. We regret them, and for all of them we repent. Let all of them be discarded and forgiven, abolished and undone. They are not valid and they are not binding. Our vows shall not be vows. Our resolves shall not be resolves. And our oaths, they shall not be oaths.
Vesholom
all shall be forgiven, the entire community of Israel and the stranger who lives in their midst, for all have gone astray in error. The message we carry is forgiveness. We are forgiven. We will continue with the Baruch Hu, which you will find on page 22. Please remain standing.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated. And in just a moment, we will continue on page 26. And I have something for which I need to atone. And I think that actually the moment, this gives us a moment to see how imperfect we can be as humans. I misidentified one of our community, our congregant leaders, who bore witness to Kol Nidre this evening by holding the Sefer Torah. It was not Wendy Wallet. I identified her in error. Rather, it was Bobby Golani. And we are glad for all of our leaders who are able to help us with this observance of Kol Nidre, and I apologize for the error. We will continue now on page 26. Love, beyond all space and time, your love enfolds your people, Israel. We receive it in your teaching, the gift of Torah, sacred obligations, discipline, and law. So let us speak these teachings when we lie down and when we rise up, and find joy forever in your Torah and mitzvot. They are the very essence of our life, ours to ponder and study all our days. May we never lose or be unworthy of your love. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Israel. Blessed are you, Adonai, the one who loves your people, Israel. Please rise for the Shema, which you'll find on page 28.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Vaed.
You may be seated. Please turn to page 30.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, לחיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם
Emet. We continue on page 40. Witness to this heroic might, the people thanked and praised God by name, freely accepting the reign of heaven. Then Moses and Miriam and all Israel sang to you this song of utter joy.
מי כמוך בערים אדוני, מי כמוך לדור בקודש, דור תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. We turn to page 42. Bless our sleep with peace, Adonai, and awaken us to life when we rise. With power sublime, spread over us your shelter of shalom, and through your wisdom restore us and make us whole. Let your name proclaim your presence in our lives. Be our shield. Make us stronger than the enemies we face. Illness and war, famine and sorrow, and stronger than the enemies in our hearts, wickedness and sin. Carry us to safety as on wings, for you are the monarch of grace, the sovereign of compassion. You are the one who cares for us and sets us free. Watch over us, we who go forth to life. Watch over us, that we may come home in peace now and until the end of time. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed One, you spread over us a canopy of peace, a shelter of shalom over all Israel, your people, and over Jerusalem.
כי ביום הזה יכפר
We continue on page 45. For on this day of atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai. We continue now with Chatzi Kaddish. Please rise as you are able.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבו,
Amen.
בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבו מהברוך לעולם ולעולם בעלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה
Richu.
בריחו לילה ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחותה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמה וימרו
Amen.
We turn now to page 46, and we will begin the Amidah, standing before God. As we go through these prayers, we'll be standing for a little while, and I'd like for you to find the one thing on any of the pages, in any of the words that you'll be interacting with over the next few moments. Find the one thing that speaks to you, that makes you wonder, that gives you joy, that reminds you of pain. That one thing that occurs to you, that is your work, your prayer this evening. Have mercy upon me, O God, as befits your faithfulness. In keeping with your abundant compassion, blot out my transgression. Wash me thoroughly of my iniquity and purify me of my sin, for I recognize my transgressions, and I am ever conscious of my sin.
Adonai sifotai tiftach ufi agid tehillatcha. Adonai, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, ve'Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, ve'Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chastei Avot ve'Imot, u'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, lema'an Shemo be'ahava. Zochreinu lechaim, melech havetz v'chaim, v'chotvenu b'sefer ha'chaim, lemolech Elohim chaim, melech ozer, Moshia u'magen, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah.
Amen.
Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah rav lehoshia, mechakel chaim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, sobech noflim, rofei cholim, umatir asurim, umekayem emunato l'shinei afar.
Shemo.
מחיי הכל.
Amen.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, קדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע.
You are holy. Your name is holy. Seekers of holiness praise you day by day. Selah. We continue now on page 58. You and you alone, Adonai, will reign over creation upon Mount Zion, home of your presence. And in Jerusalem, a city set apart by you, as the psalmist believed, Adonai will reign eternally, your God, Zion, for all generations. Hallelujah.
קדוש אתה ונורא שמך ואין אלוה מבלעדיך ככתוב ויגבר אדוני צבאות במשפט והאל הקדוש נקדש בצדקה ברוך אתה
Baruch Baruch Shemo.
המלך הקדוש.
Amen.
Out of the depths I call to you. Hear me in this darkness as I cry for mercy. I long for your word. I wait for your forgiveness. You offer love. You free me from my sins. I yearn for your light, more eager than watchers for the morning. Help me to know your peace. We will continue now on page 66. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, our God and God of our forebears, pardon our failings on this day of atonement. Erase our misdeeds. See beyond our defiance. For Isaiah said in your name, it is I alone who wipe away your defiant acts. This is my essence. I shall pay no heed to your errors. And the prophet said, as a cloud fades away, as mist dissolves into air, so your wrongs and mistakes shall be gone. I will wipe them away. Come back to me, that I may redeem you. As you said to Moses, for on this day of atonement shall be made for you to purify you from all your wrongs, and pure you shall be in the presence of Adonai. We continue now on page 78.
A prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Israel, Amcha tasim le'olam.
Shalom Rav HaYisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam.
Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha'shalom.
Ki ata hu melech adon lechol ha'shalom.
V'tov b'ydecha שלומך. בספר חיים ברכה ושלום.
ברכה ושלום ופרנסה טובה.
ברכה ושלום ניזכר וניכתב לפניך, אנחנו וכל עמך בית ישראל לחיים טובים ולשלום. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Let us have a moment for silent prayer. We continue on page 81.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו
We will continue now on page 82. We will begin the first of our formal confessions that we will be saying together as a community throughout Yom Kippur. And as the ark is opened, I invite you to rise as you are able. Our God and God of all generations, may our prayers reach your presence. And when we turn to you, do not be indifferent. Adonai, we are arrogant and stubborn, claiming to be blameless and free of sin. In truth, we have stumbled and strayed. We have done wrong.
We turn together to page 86 for our confession.
For these sins, our God, we ask forgiveness.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזדון ובשגגה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדיבור פה.
The ways we have wronged you deliberately and by mistake, and harm we have caused in your world through the words of our mouths.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך באימוץ הלב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטיפשות פה.
The ways we have wronged you by hardening our hearts, and harm we have caused in your world through careless speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בכחש ובכזב, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך ברכילות.
The ways we have wronged you through lies and deceit, and harm we have caused in your world through gossip and rumor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפלילות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בזלזול הורים ומורים.
The ways we have wronged you by judging others unfairly, and harm we have caused in your world through disrespect to parents and teachers.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בדיבור פה, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בהונאת רע.
The ways we have wronged you through insincere apologies, and harm we have caused in your world by mistreating a friend or a neighbor.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בחוזק יד, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך במשא ומתן.
The ways we have wronged you through violence and abuse, and harm we have caused in your world through dishonesty in business. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
ועל כולם אלוהים סליחות, סלוח לנו וכולנו כפר לנו.
We turn to page 88.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגלוי ובסתר, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בפריקת עול.
The ways we have wronged you openly and secretly, and harm we have caused in your world by losing self-control.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בגילוי עריות, על חטא שחטאנו לפניך במאכל ובמשתה.
The ways we have wronged you through sexual immorality, and harm we have caused in your world through consumption of food and drink.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך ביצר הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנשך ובמרבית.
The ways we have wronged you by giving in to our hostile impulses, and harm we have caused in your world through greed and exploitation.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלצון, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בנטיית גרון.
The ways we have wronged you through cynicism and scorn, and harm we have caused in your world through arrogant behavior.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בשנאת חינם, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בטומאת שפתיים.
The ways we have wronged you by hating without cause, and harm we have caused in your world through offensive speech.
על חטא שחטאנו לפניך בלשון הרע, ועל חטא שחטאנו לפניך בצרות עין.
The ways we have wronged you with a slanderous tongue, and harm we have caused in your world through a selfish or petty spirit. For all these failures of judgment and will, God of forgiveness, forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement.
ועל כולם אלוהים
We continue on page 106. For every honest, real, truthful, sincere confession, apology, reaching out to correct a wrong, we can trust in forgiveness. Forgiveness certainly from God to us, but also between each of us, and perhaps most challenging, to forgive ourselves. We continue on the bottom of page 106. Our God and God of our ancestors,
We are your people, and you are our God.
we are your children, and you are our father, our mother.
We are the people who serve you, and you call us to serve.
We are your community, and you are our portion.
We are your legacy, and you are our purpose.
We are your flock, and you are our shepherd.
We are your vineyard, and you watch over us.
We are your work, and you are our maker.
We are your beloved, and you are our lover.
We are your treasure, and you are the one we cherish.
We are your people, and you reign over us.
We offer you our words, and you offer us yours.
So
forgive us, pardon us, lead us to atonement. We continue on page 114. Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, hear our voice. Avinu Malkeinu, we have strained and sinned before you. Avinu Malkeinu, have compassion on us and our families. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the onslaught of sickness, violence, and hunger. Avinu Malkeinu, halt the reign of those who cause pain and terror. Avinu Malkeinu, enter our names into the book of lives well lived. Avinu Malkeinu, renew for us a year of goodness. Avinu Malkeinu, let our hands overflow with your blessings. Avinu Malkeinu, let our eyes behold the dawn of redemption. Avinu Malkeinu, we pray, do not turn us away from you with nothing. Avinu Malkeinu, welcome our prayer with love, accept and embrace it. Avinu Malkeinu, act towards us as befits your name. Avinu Malkeinu, act for your sake, if not for ours. Avinu Malkeinu, you alone are sovereign. Avinu Malkeinu, let the gates of heaven be open to our prayer. Avinu Malkeinu, hear our voice, treat us with tender compassion.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Kamol Aleinu, Ve'ol Ol Aleinu, Ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Dever, V'cherev v'ra'av, Me'oleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kalei Chatzar, U'mastin, Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu,
Avinu Malkeinu, almighty and merciful, answer us with grace, for our deeds are wanting. Save us through acts of justice and
Avinu Malkeinu, Chvaneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chvaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, Tzedaka v'chesed, ve'oshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chvaneinu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chvaneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim. You may be seated. I'd like to share with you, in lieu of a sermon tonight, a Kol Nidre meditation inspired by Zava Nitzan de Cordova. In the beginning, there was everything. Then that everything contracted so that there was space for something else. Emptiness was the first creation. And as we begin our 25-hour fast, we will have the opportunity to really consider and experience what it is like to feel empty. It feels like deprivation, because it kind of is. But it is also the potential from which creation can happen. Our prayer, the Shema, begins with the injunction to listen. That is what Shema means. In order to truly listen, we have to create space within ourselves, releasing our own toxic narratives about the world or about ourselves. As you journey through this Yom Kippur and this Yom Kippur fast, what stories are you living in that block your listening? On Yom Kippur, Kol Nidre proclaims of our vows, all of them are undone, abandoned, canceled, null and void, not in force and not in effect. Our vows are no longer vows, our prohibitions are no longer prohibitions, and our oaths are no longer oaths. As you continue on into this Kol Nidre night, I ask you to think for yourself, what is the role of negation in the journey towards wholeness? What will you let go of? Our fasting will create emptiness in our bellies and open our souls. How will you sit in emptiness to encounter the Eternal One? And now we have a few things that we want to share with you, things that are important to know about for today and tomorrow and this season. On behalf of the Temple Board and directors and staff, thank all of you for joining us for the High Holy Days, wherever it is that you are. We are one Kehila Kedoshah. We are one congregation. And tonight we are praying with two traditions in having our traditional Kol Nidre service in the chapel and our Reform service tonight here in the sanctuary. We are, whoever is joining us, we are so blessed to have you with us in our community tonight. We are pleased to welcome everyone from near and far for our High Holy Days this year. Our guests include members of Congregation Olympic B'nai Shalom in Port Angeles, Washington. And I'll mention, I was their student rabbi for the High Holy Days for 2 years. And this year, they don't have a rabbi with them. And I am so excited that they are able to join us tonight through streaming. We thank them for giving us the opportunity to share our communal worship. It's a mitzvah. Thank you very much. We also have people from other places around the country, from Michigan, from Minnesota, from California, and that's just what I know about. It's amazing how people get around on the internet, and we're so glad to have all of you with us tonight. So I mentioned our one congregation with two traditions. So we're offering a choice of services tomorrow. The traditional service will begin at 9 a.m. on Zoom with Torah and Yizkor included during the 10 a.m. service and Musaf at 11:30. And Mincha begins at 6:15 p.m. The Reform service will begin tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. on YouTube, and the afternoon service will begin at 3 p.m. and continue with Yizkor at 4 and Ne'ilah at 5 p.m. And at 8:15 p.m., we will all join as one community for a Bring Your Own Nosh, Break the Fast on Zoom. We are going to miss the Romeos terribly. Now, I haven't experienced this, but I did see a few photographs of some really good-looking food, and we're going to miss them terribly this year. But we will still be able to come together on Zoom to wish each other Shana Tova, to schmooze, and to end our fast together. Thank you for everyone who dropped off food donations this past week to benefit Wellspring Interfaith Social Services. That is a really important partnership that we have in the community, and thank you so much for supporting that. A few days remain to make a donation to our 10th annual Thoughtful Thursdays Apple Project to provide fresh fruit to our Bright Point Head Start students and families. So you can find out how to do that on Facebook, on our webpage, or you can call the office on Tuesday. As the holiday season continues, please join us for Sukkot services, really the next holiday, we're talking about it right now, next Friday evening and Saturday morning. We also invite you to stop by to enjoy the temple sukkah. For health reasons, we will not be holding our traditional decorating session, and we won't be having a communal lulav and etrog. But if you want to do the mitzvah of the lulav and the etrog, please contact the office and arrange a time, and we will help you do that with our lulav and etrog. Please also mark your calendar for Simchat Torah and consecration on Sunday, October 11th. And we will be launching a new Torah study series beginning on October 14th. So look for announcements online or in your weekly email for details. But we'll begin weekly Torah study very soon, right after Simchat Torah. And now some thank yous. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. And we are so fortunate to have Cantor Shore and Maestro Robert Nance and for providing beautiful music to support our prayers. And a special thank you to cellist David Rezitz for enhancing our Kol Nidre service. I am looking at him. I am so grateful, David. Thank you for sharing your beautiful gifts with us tonight. I appreciate also and am beholden, utterly beholden, to the temple staff, Clint Rossiter, Anna Sahir. I'm so sorry, Anna. I knew you have a new last name, and I didn't pronounce it right. I'm so sorry, but Anna, we're very grateful for you. Marie McFadden, Samara Sheree, and Jamie Fritz, and our production team, and the many dedicated volunteers who have worked so hard to create a meaningful holiday experience. And finally, thank you to our High Holy Day sponsors for their generosity in helping us offset the unanticipated costs of our virtual services. Shana Tova to everyone, and thank you for being an active part of our temple family. And now I'm going to take a breath and move out of announcement space and into prayer space. And we will begin to conclude our service on page 117 with the Leinu. Please rise as you are able.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחת האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. We've come to the time in our service when we remember those who are no longer with us. I spoke a moment ago about the emptiness we create inside ourselves intentionally on Yom Kippur. But losing those we love creates space in us that's ripped away from us. It's hardly intentional. It's deeply painful. And it's something we carry with us. We remember them. We stay connected with them. And particularly during times of the year like this, we especially notice their absence. In just a moment, I'm going to read our community's Kaddish list, and I will pause at the end and invite you to say aloud, wherever you are, the names of those who you are remembering this Kol Nidre evening. Tonight, we mark Shloshim, the death within the last 30 days of Ruby Jackson. We observe Shana, the death within the past year of David Seligman, Hillary Radovich, Joseph Rezitz, Diane Sisman, Patricia Ann Gorst, Leona Zweig Rosenberg, Thomas Edgar Butts, Chuck Weinraub, Lonnie Wolf, Jeanette Batnatan Barachel, Tanya Leah Greenspoon, Gilbert Yosef Chaim Ben Yudul, Jonathan Safran, Ira Sokoloff, and Manny Silverman. We observe tonight the yahrzeit, the anniversary of death of Charles Bernstein, Isidore Besser, Louis Israel Breitman, Herman Breitman, Betty Desmond, Martin Dicker, Israel Edelman, Rena Farber, Charles Bernie Fine, Bernard Frankenstein, Ivan Franks, Gladys Friedman, Louis Goldberg, Sheldon Goltz, Iva Gordon Tudor, Carl Hesslein, Milton J., Fanny Katz Kaplan, Steve Kellman, George King, Lev Kletsky, Shirley Ruth Konigsberg, Adrian Kaur, Caroline Leopold, Herman Levin, Renee Levin, Claudia H. Levine, Seema Lauenhar, Joseph Lowenhar, Oscar Massbaum, Mary McIntyre, Milton Mendelblatt, Fanny Marin, Sigmund Marin, Simon Marin, Lillian Starr Meese, Nate Pollock, Dr. Bernard Ress, Namuel Roseman, Abby Sachs, Eleanor B. Schechter, Harry Silberg, Simon Singer, Arlington Smith, Louis Snow, Samuel L. Sposip, Ira Tanner, Harry Wagner, Esther Rose Weinstein, Samuel N. Weinstein, Muriel Yentis, and Robert M. Zacher. To those names, we add the names for those whom we are remembering tonight. We continue with Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, on page 122. Please rise as you are able in solidarity with our community. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
ועלמא דברה חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ובימלכון וחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתנורם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילא ולעילא מכל ברכתה וישורתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמארן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו amen. You may be seated. We will close with Ose Shalom. We will sing now Ose Shalom.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen.
Tonight, we continue to create space in our bodies, space in our souls for the holy work of atonement. May you have a meaningful fast this Kol Nidre night. May you rest and awaken tomorrow ready to come back together in community to continue our holy work. Shana Tova.
Shana tova, gemar chatima tova,
Gemar chatima
and tzom
tova.
kal.